Florida. We did all this stuff.
He's a climate criminal! Ron DeSantis is a climate criminal! How much money are you taking from oil companies? How much money are you taking from oil companies? How much money are you taking from oil companies? Ron DeSantis is a climate criminal!
That's what's wrong with our college.
This is wrong with the college system right there. That's Exhibit A. Isn't that something that would be nice to have in Washington?
Man, the one dude, the security dude who was on his right, who saw that guy coming a mile away, I was super impressed with that dude. He was moving into the camera's view. Juan, if you can, first off, welcome back to the program. Dana Loesch here with you, top of this third hour. You can listen coast to coast. You can stream the radio program. You can check out the simulcast as well. Channel 347, DirecTV, YouTube, Facebook, and the newsletter over at Substack, Chapter and Verse. Yeah, this one guy, he's to the right of DeSantis when DeSantis is on stage, and you can see this dude moving in. He saw this dude coming from a mile away, and he just moved in. Juan's got it on the got the video of it. And you can see the security guy move into the frame. And he comes, he's right there, and then he just runs and just knocks him to the ground. Just knocks him to the ground. Give that dude a medal, man. That is awesome. He's not playing. He's not playing. Goodness. And then they come up with their, you know what? I was looking at the stuff that the little banners that they have. They're not like paper banners. They're not made of hemp. They're made of, petroleum products. They record themselves using phones, which are made of petroleum. That have batteries that are made of petroleum. They wear shoes made of petroleum, tied with shoelaces made of petroleum, wearing jeans made of petroleum, jackets made of petroleum. They have just the buttons and the zippers and everything else on their jackets made of petroleum. The vehicles that they drive made of petroleum. The easements that they used to even get to where they were going incorporated the use of petroleum. I mean, these people are such hypocrites. They're absolute hypocrites. No one takes this seriously. This makes me look at your issue like it's a joke. It looks hokey. Stop it. How much have you taken from fossil fuel executives? Well, how much fossil fuels are you using, you absolute butt clown? How many fossil fuels have you used today? Just waking up. Let's go over it. You slept in a bed made of fossil fuels, on a pillow made of fossil fuels, right? Did you charge your fossil fuel made phone? And your fossil fuel made charger and your fossil fuel made outlet using fossil fuels, you stupid moron. Because most of electricity, over 87% of it's made in coal-powered plants. And then what'd you do? You woke up and you probably grabbed some sort of flatware and serveware made with fossil fuels. And then you ate food that was grown and transported and packaged and delivered to you using fossil fuels, didn't you? You stupid butt clown. I bet you did. See, that's why I can't run for office, because that's literally would have been my response. And I wouldn't have waited for my security to tackle him. I would have done it. I can't. I know, because see, in my mind, I am 7 foot tall. My husband, I got to tell you guys a story, because my husband, God love the man. There's 2 times this has happened. There was one time when we were in Wisconsin. Okay, because I'm not joking when I say I would have tackled a guy, because I've done these things before. We were in Wisconsin, and it was during the big recall, right? When they had the Scott Walker recall. And you remember how nasty that got? How mean that was? And I was up there speaking. And we were up there trying to encourage people to get out and vote and the recall and all this stuff. And we were up at the Capitol, and I was speaking, and somebody was heckling me. And I looked, and it was some big old dudes in the back, right? And they were one of these dudes is wearing like overalls, and I don't like people that think that they're gonna. I'm sorry, you guys are gonna laugh at me. You're not gonna out redneck me, okay? When you see where I come from, it ain't gonna happen. All right, it's just not gonna happen. Just shh. So I'm up on stage, and they were calling me all kinds of names. So me being me, I literally jumped off the stage over the PA system, and I made a beeline for him. My husband's having a conversation with someone, and they just didn't notice that I was not talking anymore. And they're like, your wife literally just jumped over the PA and is heading for these dudes. And I was real cool. Like, I didn't go over there and like kick him in the nads or nothing. I mean, I was real cool, but I went over there and I was like, you got a problem with me? I got a problem with you having a problem with me. And they did not know what to say to that initially. And then they were like, oh, you know, whatever, you big city folk. And I'm like, you think I'm city folk? I'm like, do you realize that my family had a party line in the 90s? What are you talking about? Kane's dying. Gen Z don't even know what that is, do they? They don't even know what a party line. Do you realize that you would literally have to pick up the phone? No, this was in the 90s, guys. So that's how rural, you would have to literally wait for somebody to get off the phone and make a call. People be on the phone like, well, I don't know, Gladys. And you're just like, I got to call my friend. Anybody could pick up the phone and listen. This is for real. And they're like sitting here like, well, I'm like, you live right by the state capitol. Shut up. I'm like, you sit here think that you struggle. You've been brought up in a struggle. I don't want to sit here and try to have like a pour off with you, but I will, and I will win. And I'm like, don't sit here and do this class warfare stuff against me. I'm like, we have a hell of a lot more in common than we do otherwise. I'm like, you're just getting played by these people who are sending you out here to do their dirty work. I'm like, who's paying you? Who are your bosses? I'm like, you got some fat cat sitting in a nice suit in a warm office right now while you're out here freezing your tuchus off in your overalls. I go, am I wrong? We ended up actually being friends. We did. His name was Darren. I remember his name to this day. We ended up being friends. Second time I jumped off the stage was in St. Louis under the arch. That was actually a big drop too. I jumped off this stage and I made a beeline for a guy who had been trolling me and I got into his face. So when I say I would tackle my own people, I would tackle instead of my own people. I'm not lying. And my husband is like, stop doing that. He's like, I know that you think you're 7 foot tall. You are 5'6". I'm like, I'm 5'7". It's exasperating. God love him. So this climate activist, that would have been the response. And you know what? When he's like, this is the state of colleges, the fact that you don't know this and you're up there screaming about, oh, climate, you're a climate. And Kane brought up a good point. What is a climate criminal? Like, can you actually offend against the weather? Can you?
And how does it compare to other criminals?
Yeah. What is a climate criminal? I don't like what you said about the weather, you offender. I said it was cold and I don't like it. And I don't know. How much money have you gotten from fossil fuel? Oh, big fossil fuel Inc., you mean? Gosh, I love oil. I love oil and I love gas. Yay, yay, yay. It's replenishing. People think that there's like a finite amount. You know, there's stuff that makes more of it. Shut up. I love it. I love oil. I love big oil. If I could be best friends with big oil, I would. If I could take big oil to JCPenney and do one of those photos where it's us and then the ghost faces of us in the background, I would totally do it. I love big oil. I love petroleum. I love the smell of gasoline. I love gas. I love LNG. I love all of it. I love coal. Sometimes I just like to hold some of the briskets. I love it. I wanted to be bad all year for Christmas so I could get actual energy in my stocking. I love it. I wish they paid me. Oh my gosh, I'd be like, yeah, I get paid by big oil. What? Then I do the D-Generation X thing. And these dummies, who's paying them? Well, they're probably unemployed. I mean, I don't know who would pay them. But their sign was made by petroleum products because it's one of those plasticky, you can see it. It's one of those, it's not like a paper thing. It's like one of those, they had it professionally printed using petroleum products on material made with petroleum products. They're like some of the biggest offenders out there. Funny, isn't it? I mean, it just works for his campaign, doesn't it? It really does. I mean, I would want to be protested like that. I love protesters. I spoke at in Denver one time, and I had people outside protesting me. And I think one person was trying to say that I was a fascist, but they said that Dana Loesch is fash. And I'm like, fashionable, yes. I love protesters. I was like going out and like I'm like, I will totally do that. I love it. Come and flatter my ego. I don't care. I don't get bothered by the things that you think that would bother normal people.
I never understood the logic behind calling someone that is on the right a fascist. It makes absolutely no sense. It like far right would be no government.
Yeah.
Not like more in your face.
I don't
makes
think,
no sense.
they don't understand that because they are so addicted to the teat of government that they can't imagine none of it. Surely nobody wants no government. What?
And
It's our best friend.
And in contrast, the far left would be absolutely fascist. It's literally a tenet of the left. Fascism is not a tenet of the right. It's
Yeah,
just so funny.
exactly.
It's weird.
It is. It's weird.